Hello again, bringing you more Dwarf Fortress. In the last video, we covered burrows, we covered how to kill dwarves, if you want to kill dwarves, one of many possible ways. We covered how to heal wounds. It's quite a simplistic procedure, but if you're interested in it, feel free to go check out the video before. But in this one, I'm going to be teaching you how to efficiently terraform underground, and then, you know, use the underground and sometimes this can save your life. If you're in a very hot biome, say for example where there's no trees or there's no water, it's nearly a necessity to come underground, make farms, you know, or get water or something like that. Maybe you can make a hospital underground, that kind of thing, because having water inside your hospital is something very hugely useful. So first of all, I'm going to teach you basically how to efficiently wall off underground. So there's a lot of dangers in the underground area, so having a good wall off is something that can really save your life. So we're obviously going to use walls, and I'm going to go ahead and wall off here. One thing to note is the fact that you may be forgetting that monsters and everything can, you know, they can path through diagonally. So say for example, if I made a hole like that, they could get through there pretty easily. So that's something you need to take into consideration when you're making your wall. So I'm just going to go ahead and make a big straight wall, and I'm just going to remove this little bit here so I can put these walls down. And preferably in time, I will dig into here, make a wall, dig into here, make a wall, dig into here, make a wall, and dig into here and make a wall, because you can't overlook the fact that there's also flying monsters in the game. And a lot of the nasty monsters do fly, and they do kill stuff, so that's not good. Another thing that we're going to learn right now is remove upstairs slash ramps. You see these stairs slash ramps? These are ramps, by the way. But this is a very useful feature because, you know, if something was up here, I could quite easily just go down there. But if there isn't a ramp, then, you know, a creature that can only walk can't go down there. He can't path there. Obviously, you know, there's still the flying monster threat, but obviously that's something we can deal with later. It's not something hugely required. As long as you have a ground defense, you should be okay. Although preferably it's a good idea to come down here once you've got a fair amount of military. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and wall off over here as well, and then our underground we can put a farm down here or a hospital, you know, whatever we want. We can do whatever we want in here. It will be more or less completed. So that was still there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and unpause the game and let our dwarves run. Yeah, we need actually empty cages, but obviously that shows you the cage traps that I demonstrated a few videos before that are automatically loaded by your dwarves. And here is an example of trees that you can cut down. This is where the wood underground comes hugely in use. Obviously it doesn't matter so much for me because, you know, I've got a million trees up here. I can just go. And by the way, if you're wondering how I darted from underground to here, I used a hotkey, and I will show you how to use a hotkey as soon as I'll do it right now. Basically, introducing the new menu, there is H for hotkeys. So the only hotkey you'll have by default is the hotkey that brings you to here. So hotkeys are F1 to 6 and Shift F1 to 6. So we're going to go ahead and make F1, press Z to make it zoom here. So now if I, for example, press Z here, that brings me, if I press F1 now, that'll bring me there. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. So I'm going to call this above because it's above ground. So now, you know, if I want to look above, check my refuse, check traders, all that stuff, I can go and do that. I can just press F1. I'm also going to leave a hotkey here. This is going to be called my stocks. Again, pressing Z. So now, you know, I can go between F1 and 2. Go down here. We're going to call this here sleep, because this is indeed our sleeping area. Okay, so it looks like this pace is fine. I'm just going to go ahead and wall this back up off. Actually moved this because I thought my dwarf was pathing wrong, but in fact it's because he was restricted with burrow. That was in the last video. But I'm going to go ahead and make this pit deeper, because obviously that did not kill my dwarf, and that's something not good. You know, if I'm getting invaded and I want something to fall down that pit, then I'm going to have a bit of a deeper pit, and I can do so by utilizing pits. So I'm going to go ahead and just channel this all out, and this little bit here. But I'm going to go ahead and finish my hotkeys. So here's my nobles quarters. I'm going to call this nobles. As well as this, I'm going to go ahead and just put down a few little cabinets inside of my nobles rooms, because nobles like those kind of things. I don't have an armor stand or rack. I'm going to go ahead and make a few armor stands, a few racks. because these are not hugely important, but they're quite useful. They can be used to make an area into a barracks, which is something that we will be doing later, but right now it's not really a necessity for me at all. In fact, another thing I need to do as well, I need to wall this area off. I did mention this in the last video as well, I think, but no, I didn't. I think I mentioned it 2 videos ago, perhaps. But basically, this area, remember, diagonal, water can travel through there, liquids can travel through there, monsters can travel through there. So again, that's a danger. As soon as this ice unmelts, it's gonna first of all flood my fortress, and then second of all, it's gonna flood all in here. So then my pit won't be as effective. You know, I can't put spikes down there when it's filled with nasty water's not good. Okay, so we're going to go down to my first cavern layer, and the thing I always like to do, I feel this is quite a comfortable hotkey, Shift F1 is my cavern, so I'm going to call this cavern 1, so that I can have cavern 2, cavern 3. If you generate a world to have more than one cavern, you know, you can make up to 6. Oh no, it's F1 to 8 and Shift F1 to 8. I didn't actually know that. I do apologise for that incorrect information right there. So at the minute we're doing all good in our cavern. It will take our masons quite a while to be able to terraform all this properly, because obviously, you know, they do have a lot of work. They have work cut out for them on the ground. They have work cut out for them in masonry workshops. At the minute we've got a very nice fort, self-sustainable. We've got a fair amount of food, although we are starting to run semi-short. But one good thing is the first migration wave of the second year, so that's next month in spring, is a huge migration wave every time. It's always 20 to 30 dwarves. That's where stuff gets really big, and if you don't have the food or self-sustainability to support that, then you are going to die then. That's where most people die of thirst all over this winter, purely because it's just such a huge amount of dwarves to have to deal with all of a sudden if you don't have a good amount of produce. But obviously we have a farm, we have water, which is more or less never going to run out. Obviously this does drain, that's why it's changing to 6 levels there all the time, because there is a little bit of water drained out. But for the most part we're fine. And oh my god, I trapped my mason here. This is something you need to worry about. If you ever make a wall, masons and whoever else builds walls, they like to make the wall behind themselves. In fact, I'm going to leave that open for now. I want to make that deeper. It doesn't really pose a danger, you know, there's no way to get in there unless my bridge is open, and even if it is open, only a flying monster could get through there. And ground flying monsters are kind of rare in places like Untamed Wilds, which is an evil neutral, I can't remember what it is, but it has giant eagles, which can be quite a threat. But and by the way, they rip dwarves' heads off, which is not very nice at all. But meanwhile, we're going to go check on our little dwarf over here. Again, using the V menu, we're going to check his wounds, see how he's doing. See, here's Good Dip with a V. We're checking the wounds menu, and he is not feeling better at all. Obviously, I have a unskilled doctor. He's only a good diagnostician, you know. He's not good in anything else. Does he even have any experience? No, it doesn't look like he's really started treatment, actually. So maybe he'll start doing some treatment now. It looks like he did go and get some cloth over there. But in time, he will be better. But dwarves take a long time to recover. Like, if they lose a leg or something, it's going to be a year or something before they ever get out of that bed. It's not something, you know, like you can do overnight for a dwarf. Dwarves are, obviously, like humans, are very injured by stuff like that. And it's not something that can just walk off. Another thing that we need to do is we need to start produce of whatchamacallit. We're going to start producing coal, fuel, so we can start iron and steel production. At the minute we don't actually have any ores of iron like hematite or limestone. No, limonite? I can't remember this. Limestone or limonite. But we don't have any ores of iron, nor do we have any fuel, but we do have a lot of flux, as we have down here. That is what a fluxstone looks like. This is marble, for example. So, you know, we can quite easily just go ahead and mine all this out. But right now, we're going to try and delve deeper and hopefully find some iron, some ores of iron, because this is what we need, mainly. As well as this, instead of completely walling off this area, I'm in fact going to leave one area open, and I'm going to use something called vertical bars. These require bars of something, like iron, and then you can basically, it's basically a wall that you can open and close. You can use a lever, but it can also be bashed down by building destroyers. Yeah, I'm talking about building destroyers as well. There are building destroyers in the game. They're not, you know, they're not that a frequent thing. But things like trolls, forgotten beasts, they can destroy buildings sometimes, and they can quite easily path in the forest, just bash down a wall and then come kill everything. Which is why we need to get a military, which is something that we're going to focus on. Not right now, but we're going to focus on in our next migration wave, in which we will hopefully get a decent amount of useful dwarves. I'm also going to designate all this to be dumped here, just so we can bring it all to our lovely little stone stockpile. And then from there, I'm just going to go ahead and reclaim all this here. And then I'm going to start digging deeper. Where should I dig from? I personally don't really recommend, like, if you've got an opening to a cavern, don't just dig down from here, because it makes things a bit hectic. Like this has a separate entryway, okay? If I dug down, okay, and then, you know, something got into my second cavern layer, then that would mean that then stuff could get into here. It's a bit hard to describe, but it's not something that's secure. And now that I remember, I do actually have a second cavern layer down here. I do have a lot of water. I have some trees. So I'm going to try and, when I'm digging down, I'm going to try and avoid this water, because I don't want to go mining water. But I'm not sure if it's something I'll be able to do so well. But I am going to, where are we? I'm going to start digging down from up here. So there's our downward stairway. Oops, it is. No, I need to go a little bit further. Go ahead and go dig that out there, and then J down. And does that work? Oh no, I need to go down a little bit as well. What a nuisance. Let's see, does this work? Yeah, that's fine. Whether or not it'll go through the water though is another story. If not though, it's not like we're going to hit the water. Oh, it looks like we're going to be hitting the cavern roof here, I'd presume. But again, I'm going to try and terraform it. Basically make it nice and safe for us, and hopefully we'll find our third layer pretty fast. As you can see, we're only on floor 15 for a second. I'm going to go ahead and hotkey this battle there. Again, H and Z to zoom here. So now we have our 2 hotkeys for our caverns, very easy accessible, so you can check in stuff straight away. But yeah, this cavern's only 15 layers down. That's quite a short distance for the second cavern layer. Like I said, you know, worlds generate with different stuff, and this could be a world in which there's very small distances between each cavern layer. And hopefully, if we don't hit a third cavern, maybe we'll hit something else, which I'm not going to spoil for anybody. But it's something very fun, and there's lots of delicious ores. Well, not kind of no, but it's a very nice mineral that we most certainly want to get, and it will greatly help us in making a dwarf kingdom that is very luxurious and very well equipped. It is in fact the best material in the game. One thing I need to take into account here though when I'm channeling this out, I need to make an upward ramp there so I can actually get out of here, because at the minute I'm going to channel this out and then it's just going to be a big pit. But miners will get on that, and they'll also get on working in digging deeper underground eventually. Hopefully we will hit our third layer very fast. So in this, we have covered hotkeys, we have covered a little bit more on caverns, and we have also covered, what else have we covered? Hotkeys, caverns, and I've also took a look at our injured dwarf. I'm going to go take a look at him again. He's faint now. That generally isn't a good thing. Like I said, he is infected, so I think he's probably going to die. Let's go see if the infection's worn out. Oh, severe, no, not severe blood loss, just blood loss, but regardless, he has a wound that isn't being tended, so he is losing blood, which isn't good. Oh shit! Starving, why these, oh. I did that before, it's just my goddamn animals. I don't care about them. In fact, I'm going to order them to be killed right now. I don't care about them, it's a little bit of food. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. I can't remember what I covered, but in the next one I'm going to cover going down in the caverns more. Maybe if I get some nice minerals, I can start making iron production. And if nothing else, I'm going to wait for my next migration wave. Oh, and it's suddenly spring, so we'll be expecting a migration wave probably in the next 1 or 2 parts. And I'll show you how to manage a bigger migration wave, and hopefully get some military, so then we can feel a little bit safer going down to have caverns. Thank you very much for watching.